Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out, episode 368. I know it's a crazy time for many with the election next week and all the insanity leading up to it, especially with such a close race, right? But I hope you're all holding up and not burning out. Even following the news and commentary on social media can be exhausting. I get it. Well, this hour, you're going to get a reprieve from it all, from politics, no coverage of the wars going on in the world. I'm happy to report that it'll only be about tech, but in a language you can understand. We're going to kick things off with a 14-year-old. He's the winner of the 3M Young Scientist Award for this year, and we're going to hear about his invention. Not only is he only in 9th grade, and he won $25,000, but he's published 2 books already. Sheesh. After that, we'll speak to YouTube celebrity Melissa Maker about high-tech appliances for the home and how these new smart appliances can help save you money on your monthly electricity bill. I'm always happy to hear about that. Melissa teamed up with LG for this. Also on the show, the Dinos Alive Immersive Experience is still going on in parts of the US and now in Toronto. And we're going to hear how these 100+ million-year-old dinosaurs, these giant beasts, have been recreated for this family-friendly exhibit. I was at the event last Friday. It was really wild. And finally, I'll talk about a new Roku gift idea and more on an all-new Tech It Out, powered by Intel Core Ultra PCs, Series 2, which I'll tell you more about shortly. But let's officially kick off the new show with our first interview. Now in its 17th year, the 3M Young Scientist Challenge continues to inspire and challenge middle school students to think creatively and apply the power of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, to discover real-world solutions to real-world problems. The winner of the top young scientist this year is a 14-year-old. His name is Sirish Subash, and he's on the line with us right now to tell us about his project, Pestiscand. By the way, 3M Young Scientist Challenge finalists are paired with a 3M scientist who mentors and works with them one-on-one to transform their idea from concept to prototype. Congrats, Sirish. Thanks so much for your time. Welcome to the show.
It's been an honor to be here. My pleasure.
Again, congratulations on becoming America's top young scientist. How exciting. Before we talk about your invention, Sirish, please tell us about yourself. What grade are you in? And I believe you're based just northeast of Atlanta, correct?
Yeah, I'm in 9th grade. I'm a 9th grader at the Gwinnett School of Math, Science, and Technology, and I'm author of 2 books. I love all things STEM. As you mentioned earlier, science, technology, engineering, math. It's all just really interesting to me.
Okay, you've already authored 2 books and you're only in the 9th grade. I don't know what I was doing at your age. I don't want to tell you. So you just won this year's 3M Young Scientist Challenge. Tell us about that and your project called Pestiscand.
So my project, Pestiscand, it's a device to detect pesticide residues on produce at home. And it does this using 2 technologies, being machine learning and spectrophotometry.
All right. Spectrophotometry, which, if I'm not mistaken, that's the measurement of how light of various wavelengths is reflected off the surface, in this case, of fruits and vegetables.
Yeah. So
you have to break it down for me.
Yeah. So the way this is actually used here, depending on what chemicals the material is made out of, they interact with light differently. So different chemicals, they reflect and absorb different wavelengths of light. So this produces a signature, a spectral signature. What this is a list of the different wavelengths that are actually reflected back. So from that data, Pestiscand can look for the actual signature of a produce item with pesticide residues. And that's at its core how Pestiscand works.
How did you come up with this idea?
So this started when I was having a little conversation with my mom over some produce we were washing. And my question was, why does it matter that we wash the produce? And how much of an impact does it have? So I did some further looking into things, and I digged up a couple reports. There was one FDA report that showed me that the majority of our produce items, 70.6%, contain pesticide residues. And the residues will stick around for multiple rounds of washing. And if we could detect them, we could make sure we weren't consuming them.
Wow. So almost 3/4 of the fruits and vegetables that we bring home from a market, a supermarket, what have you, has pesticides still on them, even after washing them a couple of times. With your device, the Pestiscan, is it a handheld device? Is this something that you envision people would have in their homes one day to detect the level of pesticides?
Yeah, it's handheld. The whole goal for this project is to push it towards something that can be used every day at home. Right now, I have a prototype, and this current version is a little bit larger than a cell phone. I've tested it with an iPhone. It connects magnetically to the iPhone, and the two will connect automatically over Bluetooth.
Wow. And then what do we do then? Let's say it does detect an unsafe amount of pesticides, and even washing those fruits and vegetables a couple times aren't going to get rid of it. Is there a kind of cleaner that's a little bit more powerful than just tap water that isn't harmful to us?
So my idea here was we would go around for a couple rounds of washing. There are other methods that have been tested independently, such as a soak in baking soda and solution of baking soda that have been tested independently, but I would like to further verify methods like these before I go on with this.
So I guess, again, it goes back to my question, maybe it's a dumb one, that good technology solves a problem. So is pesticide residue, is this in fact harmful for us to consume in small quantities?
There are plenty of health issues that are actually linked to this, particularly when you consume pesticide residues repeatedly over extended periods of time. So even in small amounts, it adds up over long periods of time. So there's been some research from the WHO and similar health agencies that have noted that this can be linked to certain cancers and developmental issues, that it's just overall not healthy for you.
We are chatting with Sirish Subash. He is a 9th grade student, a 14-year-old in Georgia who just won the 17th annual 3M Young Scientist Challenge, designed to inspire and challenge middle school students to think creatively and apply the power of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, to solving a real-world problem. In Sirish's sake, it's called Pestiscan. What does that name mean exactly? Pestiscan. For our listeners, it's PESTIS, I guess, pesticides, and then CAND.
So here, the PESTI, PESTI, that section is just for pesticides. S is for it's simple to use. C, it's cost effective. A, it's accurate. N, it's non-destructive. And what that means is it leaves the produce item perfectly safe to consume. And then D, it's a detector.
So impressive. If you don't mind me asking, how much money did you win from 3M? I know you were also paired with a mentor.
So there was a $25,000 cash prize that I'm planning on using for college primarily. Now, I want to use this as well to further some of these innovations. For example, push innovations like Pestiscan closer to the market to get them out to consumers.
Amazing. You just hinted at college, so I was going to ask you if you knew at your young age what you want to do for a living when you're older. Do you want to be a scientist? You are now.
So what I want to do is I want to look at science. One field I enjoy in particular is physics, and look at that from the mindset and the goal of applying that to life and real world problems. That's really what I want to do in the future.
Amazing. Where could we read more about your winning submission, as well as feel free to please plug the books that you've written as well?
Yeah, the actual submission, that can be found on the youngscientistlab.com webpage.
Okay.
That's the actual site for this whole 3M Young Scientist Challenge. You can find more details on the submission there.
And then what are the names of the books? Are they published?
Yeah, so they're both self-published. My first book is Carbon Block Puzzle. The second one is Biochemistry the Fun Way. My first book is available as both the Kindle ebook and a paperback on Amazon, as well as a couple other places such as Barnes & Noble. And then my second book, there is no ebook version for that. However, it is available as a paperback.
And Sirish, I understand you want to give a shout out.
So I'd like to give a big thanks to all the folks at 3M and Discovery Education who have taken me throughout this whole journey with the challenge. Huge thanks to them, as well as the educators that have helped me get here.
Awesome. Congrats again, Sirish. Sirish Subash has been our guest. Super exciting. Thanks so much for your time.
It's been an honor to be here. My pleasure.
This show, Tech It Out, is powered by Intel. If you're in the market for a new PC, there's never been a more exciting time, thanks to extremely powerful devices infused with AI, plus longer battery life than we've ever seen before, countless designs like touch and convertibles that can turn a laptop into a tablet by simply bending it. There's stunning OLED displays and super thin and light form factors. As usual, Intel is leading the charge, now with brand new Intel Core Ultra PCs Series 2 laptops that are powering a new generation of portable PCs across more than 20 computer manufacturers. They can deliver much more performance, up to 80% more for gaming compared to last year's machines. Yet, amazingly, consume up to 50% less power to do so. This translates to battery life of more than 20 hours with some applications. By fusing a CPU with a GPU for graphics and a new NPU or neural processing unit, these Intel-powered Windows 11 laptops are capable of delivering better AI experiences through Copilot Plus, including up to 4 times faster image generation compared to last year. Now available, these new Intel Core Ultra Series 2 laptops are branded with a 200V series naming convention to indicate it's a Series 2 model. Intel.com has more. That's Intel.com. When we return on Tech It Out, we're going to catch up with YouTube celebrity Melissa Maker, who's going to talk with us about high-tech appliances that sip rather than gulp electricity. Stick with us. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out. We were just talking about PCs in the last segment. Don't forget to properly back up your important files on a regular basis. At the risk of sounding preachy, let me just tell you, it's the worst feeling when you realize something happened to your files and you do not have a backup. So now I always trust my information with Western Digital and SanDisk inexpensive drives that can hold all your files for you. Lots of great sales this time of year. WesternDigital.com or SanDisk.com has more. It's always a pleasure to have Melissa Maker on the show. You know her as the charismatic YouTube host, the star of Clean My Space on that platform. And in partnership with LG, Melissa is back on this program, this time to chat about home appliances and energy efficiency. I can tell you in my home, I swear a blue streak when I open my monthly utility statement. But as we'll hear from Melissa, today's smart appliances may be able to help cut down on your energy bills. Welcome back to the show, Melissa.
Hey, thanks for having me back, Mark.
The last time you were here, we chatted about the connected home and smart appliances and all the conveniences they offer. But today, as I mentioned off the top, we're going to chat about new innovations in home appliances and how they're helping us become more energy efficient when it comes to completing everyday household tasks like doing a load of laundry or prepping a meal for the family, and hopefully making a dent on your bill as well, your utility bill or hydro bill. Wherever you're listening to this, it's called something a little bit different. But before we talk about energy efficiency and electrification, please tell us a bit about yourself.
Sure. So you gave a little bit of my pitch there up front, but back in 2006, I started a cleaning service in Toronto where I live. In 2012, started making YouTube videos about the very same topic. You know, unlike you, Mark, who loves technology, I actually hate cleaning, and that's why I got into this whole thing in the first place. I wanted to find ways to help people and myself make cleaning a little bit easier and more efficient. So started the cleaning business, got the online content going, have a book, have a line of microfiber cleaning cloths. It's all just my journey to help myself and other people clean a little bit easier and more efficiently.
You're so humble. Congratulations. You've done so much in such a short amount of time. It seems so really a huge congrats. My wife Kelly's a big fan of yours. I told her I was going to be chatting with you today. All right. So the last time you were on this show, I think almost 2 years ago, in fact, we did focus on LG's home appliances and how they can help you tackle everyday chores. But today we're going to focus on, while doing those chores, those daily tasks around the home, how to also be savvy about our energy consumption. So why don't we start there? Let's start with the concept of electrification. What does it mean exactly, and why should we care?
Sure. So electrification is something that you would hear sort of if you were in the industry, if you will, but it's going to be something that is on the lips of consumers more and more as we go down this path. So the idea of electrification is really simple. It's that shift to using a greater proportion of renewable energy sources and at the same time looking for ways to reduce your overall energy consumption. So a couple of great examples would be, the shift from using fossil fuels like gas when you're cooking to using an induction cooktop. That's a really easy one. And then the second is introducing new innovations into your home to help reduce electricity consumption, like using heat pump technology that's featured in LG dryers. They give you really great performance. They don't compromise on performance, but they use far less energy.
All right. So with that in mind, for listeners who don't know exactly what a heat pump is, can you explain what it is and how it works and what makes it energy efficient?
Yeah. And Mark, I just want to say, when I first heard the term heat pump, it went right over my head. I was like, there goes that industry jargon again. But once I learned what heat pump technology was, I found it very exciting. So what's cool about LG's heat pump technology is that it uses up to 60% less energy with every load compared to conventional vented dryers. So that's what initially got me excited about it. And now I'm going to explain kind of how it works. So when we think about regular dryers, vented dryers, they have that elephant trunk looking hose that sort of attaches to the dryer.
That's a great way to explain it. Yes. And it's silver too. And it's gray. Yeah.
Right? Well, everyone knows what it is when I explain it that way. And it goes from the dryer to the back of the house or side of the house. And the idea is that it takes the hot or warm air from the dryer and pushes it out. And your dryer will then suck in cold air, heat it up, warm up your clothes, push it out the back of the house, and so on and so forth until the cycle is done. But with heat pump, this is where everything gets kind of exciting because the heat recycles, like the hot air in the drum is recycled with each load. So you've got an evaporator inside the dryer that cools heated air. It separates moisture from your wet clothing and the air that's been, circulating in the drum. And then that warm air just recirculates until your clothes are dry. So it's this closed system that saves a ton of energy. Do you now understand why I'm so excited about it?
Indeed. I think the only small trade-off is that it just takes a bit longer to do your load.
Yeah, it does take a little bit longer, but I will say with the LG Washcomb, with the LG Wash Tower, they both have this heat pump technology. And we just have to focus on the fact that they're more energy efficient. And the trade-off is that it's a ventless dryer. So you can put a dryer that has heat pump technology just about anywhere you have a water hookup. So it opens up a lot more possibilities for where you can do your laundry. Like now you can do it in your bathroom, in a small closet, in a garage. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good point. We are chatting with Melissa Maker. She is, of course, the YouTube host of Clean My Space. Just learned about heat pump technology. So when we return, Melissa, what an induction cooktop is, how it differs from what we may have now, and the benefits, of course. And we're going to move on and talk about other appliances and how to save money on your monthly utility bill, your electric bill, and adding modern conveniences as well, like using your voice to turn on your appliances, getting push notification to your phone, and more. So stick with us, everyone. More with Melissa Maker when we return on Tech It Out.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. We are chatting with Melissa Maker, an entrepreneur, cleaning expert. She's the founder of the Clean My Space channel on YouTube and Instagram. She's got a product line, books. She's everywhere. She's often referred to as the internet's favorite accidental cleaning expert, and she explained why off the top in our last block. She has partnered with LG for this segment. Now, Melissa, let's pivot. We were just about to hear how we know when it's time to upgrade our appliances, and you were going to tell us about induction cooking as well. So let's get right to that.
Yeah. So when you are looking to make that upgrade, you want to see if your appliance has an Energy Star certification on it, which guarantees energy savings without compromising on performance. And one of the reasons I love working with LG is because they are really leaders in this space, and they are first to market both in US and Canada to launch an Energy Star certified range, which is the one I have in my kitchen. It's the LG induction slide-in range. So I've got a lot of experience using this one. It's a really innovative range which uses significantly less energy compared to conventional electric cooktops. Like, I've noticed it's so much easier to cook with, but also it does save quite a bit of money because your regular range draws a lot of energy between cooktop and oven. So having that Energy Star certification is a huge advantage. You know, for me as a mom, and I'll sort of get into why I love induction in a moment, but really for me as a consumer who wants to put more money back in my pocket.
Let's talk a bit more about induction cooking. So this is where it's not like a gas cooktop. It's not the coil, like the element for an electric one. This is like flush. It's flat, right? And you just put the pot or what have you, the pan on top of it, right?
Yeah, so you can also have an electric flat cooktop as well. Induction is just a different technology altogether. It uses electromagnetism, which essentially means magnets spin up really, really quickly, and they use that energy to then transfer and heat up your pot or pan, which is why you have to have induction-friendly cookware. So what that means is that heat is transferred directly to those pots and pans and not anywhere else on the cooktop or in the kitchen. So almost no energy is wasted. Like, just think about that for a minute. You aren't experiencing heat around the cooktop. So as a mom, again, like, I'm much more comfortable having my 6-year-old stand there with me and help me throw broccoli into a frying pan, you know, so that's nice. But also it's a lot cooler to stand there and cook with. And the other thing that's really neat about induction cooktops are that they offer you that precision cooking and faster cook times. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen a video of a pot sitting on top of an induction cooktop with water and just watch how quickly it boils. It's pretty amazing. And also you can go from a boil to a simmer really quickly, which gives you that precision that you need to make your dishes perfect.
I like that. More control. It doesn't waste as much energy as other technologies. It's safer.
Oh, and the other thing, it's easier to clean as well. And I must mention this because this is what I'm all about, Mark. You know, because these cooktop surfaces don't get as hot, if a pot boils over or you spill something while you're cooking, I'm not saying you, Mark, I'm saying me, Melissa, because I know you never spill anything when you cook. But what's great is, like, it won't burn or get crusty on that surface that you'll then have to worry about scrubbing or, you know, scraping off later, and really where you get that big nasty mess. My cooktop looks pristine, even after, you know, over 1.5 years of having it. It's just, it's lovely. I love it. I'm obsessed.
You need that because you're a YouTube star. So we're looking at your kitchen all the time.
It's got to look beautiful.
Fair. All right. Before we wrap up, I know, you know, with many households still using older appliances, those who are listening right now, they may have not upgraded in a while. What are some of the key benefits to upgrading? How do we justify going out and buying new kitchen appliances or even laundry appliances? Yeah,
I mean, you know, you can think about it sort of two different ways. Of course, you're contributing to a sustainable and energy conscious future. You're saving money in the long run, you know, when you're looking for these appliances that can save you money on your bills.
It'll pay for itself.
Well, yeah, eventually they will. And the other cool thing, and why I think these newer appliances are so great, is because they come with a lot of smart features that can make everyday tasks more convenient. You know, LG's got their fabulous ThinkQ app. I use it for all of my appliances, and I can operate them using the app. So I can check in on when my, you know, dryer is going to be finished its load. I can download additional cycles for my washer, my dryer, my dishwasher. I can get my oven to preheat while I'm playing with my daughter in another room. We're just busy. We live different lives today. So our appliances are being built for the lives that we're living today, not the lives we were living 25 years ago.
And when you're watching a movie on your beautiful LG OLED television, you can even see a little pop-up that says your laundry load is done. So you can pause.
It is pretty
pause
cool.
Your flick. I love how everything talks to one another. And then finally, depending on where you're listening to this show, there are different time of use rate periods throughout the day, off peak, mid peak, on peak, all that. I know in Ontario, it's like that where you live. Can you talk to us about this? Because we're entering a new change now. Yeah,
so it's called time of use. And these are rates that your energy company will ascribe to different times of the day, depending on when there's sort of a surge in use, it's going to be more expensive for you to use. So on November 1st, we went into what's called weekday winter, where these on and off peak hours switch. So a really great way you can think about this is thinking about when you run the bulk of your appliances. So when you're doing your laundry and when you're running your dishwasher. And at the end of the day, every little bit that we do counts.
Yeah, that's a great point. Mm-hmm. My kids and my wife, Kelly, know that I get very angry when I hear the dishwasher or laundry machine go during the day because I pay more, of course, for those on-peak hours rather than mid or low peak. So yeah, thank you for that. So I'm not crazy. All right, great.
Just a little reminder to, to make those little changes because they add up. And no, Mark, you're not crazy. If you needed to talk to me to get verified, you got it.
Thank you. Not crazy. And again, with a ThinkQ smart appliance, you can program it, like you said, to set schedules, which is just like a no-brainer. Love it. And then finally, Melissa, what's the best place to learn more about you and your work, as well as more on these energy-efficient LG appliances?
So you can find me online just by using the handle @CleanMySpace. So that would be on Instagram and YouTube. You can also find me at Melissa Maker there on Instagram. And then, of course, to learn more about LG home appliances, you can check out LG.com.
All right, LG.com stands for Life's Good. Melissa Maker has been our guest, the star of Clean My Space. Thank you so much for your time, Melissa. Always great chatting with you, and I always learned something as well. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure, Mark. Save that money.
We talk dinosaurs when we return on Tech It Out with the Dinos Alive interactive exhibit, which just opened in Toronto, but has been in other parts of the world. In the US, it was in Chicago, and now it's still in Sacramento. So no doubt it'll be a monster of an interview. Stick with us. We'll be right back with Dinos Alive when we return on Tech It Out.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, everyone. Before we get to our next interview about dinosaurs, we cover cybersecurity a lot on this program and how you can best protect yourself in the digital age, even if you're not super tech savvy. One part of the solution is securely shopping online. And so I'm thrilled about my partnership with Visa on Tech It Out, as they've made some significant investments in fraud prevention over the past 5 years, as much as $10 billion. Yes, that's billion with a B, to support Visa's brand promise to protect the financial information of individuals and businesses. Zero liability means peace of mind when you shop online using your Visa card. There can be no half measures when it comes to cybersecurity, which is why the company takes an aggressive and multi-layered approach to combating the rising threat of malicious software and other threats by well-funded and global criminal enterprises. Read more about Visa and how securing the world's payments is priority one at visa.com/security. That's visa.com/security. All right, kids and kids at heart love dinosaurs. And the only thing cooler than watching these prehistoric beasts recreated for TV or movie theater screens is when you can interact with them. Dinos Alive, an immersive experience, has been around the world. In the US, it's now in Sacramento, has wrapped up in Raleigh, Washington, D.C., Houston, and Chicago and LA. And for those in the Toronto area, the fourth largest city in North America, I was at the launch of Dinos Alive last Friday, and I recorded an interview with Eric Paquette from the show. Have a listen. Thanks for your time, Eric. Great to chat with you.
It's a pleasure to chat with you today. Thanks for having me.
And it's fun to be here for the media day for Dinos Alive. This is obviously very exciting. Lots of kids, I can see how much they're enjoying this. So with that in mind, why don't we just start at a high level? What is Dinos Alive, an immersive experience?
Well, Dinos Alive was made for educational purposes, but what a good way to educate kids by having fun. That was was the mindset behind it. And the way to do it, we brought in more than 40 dinosaurs. They look amazing. We really craft them. We picked them for this exhibit. With this exhibition, it's been around the world, and it's been breaking box office record because of the fact that it's not only to play, but it's also the parents like that educational part. But I don't think the kids even realize it. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, that's when you know it's done right.
I think so. You're absolutely right. And we see today, it's our first day, and you see kids being very engaged in it, being in awe. They look everywhere, and dinosaurs are big, right? So for them, they're a little smaller than us, obviously, and they look up and they feel that immersive. It's used left and right. It's okay. But here, when you're a kid and you look around, you're not in Toronto. You're in a realm. You're back 1 million years ago with those gentle giants, and you get to live amongst them for an hour or so, right? And I think that's what the fun that you were referring to a little earlier.
And maybe not so gentle. I love ending off on the T-Rex, which is huge.
Huge T-Rex. But hey, if you say dinosaur to kids, most likely the T-Rex, for all the obvious in the cultural references, that's what they want to see. So yes, we kept that for the end of our exhibit for sure.
All right. So I know it's in other parts of the world. It's in the U.S. It was in Australia, in Europe. Is it the same, or does it change based on the audience?
The exhibit is always changing a bit because of the venue itself, right? We try to make things very seamless when we go from a venue to another. And here in Toronto is very different of an exhibit that you will see around the world. The theme is the same. The feel that what we want to convey to kids and what interests kids is pretty international. But once we come to Toronto, we know what works, what doesn't work. We know a bit more of our audience, right? And that's why Cavalia is kind of the diffuser of this beautiful project. Here, of course, we're from Quebec, so Canadian is our turf. So mixed with that, I think Fever and Exhibition Hub, created this experience. Fever is pushing it behind with his force, and Cavalia is wrapping it up with a big bow and making sure that we get those smiles from those kids. So the exhibit is different, and here is brand new. The pathway is different. The dinosaur might be different as well, but all in the common goal is really to entertain at a decent price and also have something to educate the kids. That's fun.
All right. So the dinosaurs themselves, if we can pull the curtain back a little bit, they're animatronic. So the head moves, the tail moves with the right lighting, and especially focusing on the kids, it really feels like they're walking around 100 million plus years ago.
Absolutely. That was the case, right? So not only you have dinosaurs everywhere, but you have the nature that they would have been thriving around, right?
Some are fighting, some are eating, some have family around them, like little baby dinos. I love all that little bit of detail there.
Correct. And everything is in the details when you do something like this, because you might, like you said at the top, you might have seen dinosaurs in movie, heard about them, and even encountered some of the animatronics before. But the beauty here is in the details, like you said, the environment, the nature, the interaction that they have together that maybe we didn't think about before. And that's the research behind the educational part. Every dinosaur has a little card that you can learn about the speed that they're running, what they would eat, what kind of friends they had. And that's making it a fun way. It's not a long text, just enough so even the parent can go along the kids and kind of be the narrative throughout. So it's a familiar narrative, you learn more, and you get exposed to this beautiful, detailed dinosaur. They move, like you said, they roar as well.
So they roar and they move, but I should mention, they're not scary. Like, I don't think little kids are going to be frightened and they're going to start crying. I think it's fun, but yeah, they seem lifelike. If I was ever alive 140 million plus years ago, and but you know what I mean. Was that intentional? Like, there's no like jump scares or anything.
No, and for sure intentional. But if we keep the purpose of education and entertainment for kids, we need to keep at their level where they will understand that dinosaurs might have been giants in the past and being a little scary. But the point of bringing them alive again today is to make them in a light where we can learn from them, and that's not scary at all.
We continue chatting with Eric Paquette from Dinos Alive, an immersive experience, when we return on Tech It Out. I'll also share a gadget gift idea for you for under $100. It's the latest Roku. So stick with us. More Tech It Out coming right up after this.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
We are chatting with Eric Paquette. He is the spokesperson for Dinos Alive, an immersive experience. You probably hear some kids screaming outside the door here. They're having fun experiencing dinosaurs firsthand with more than 40 animatronic dinosaurs. In this same venue, Eric, I interviewed Hamza El Azhar. He is the CEO of Exhibition Hub, co-producer and curator of Dinos Alive, an immersive experience, for another installation that's also here in this same venue, Eric. It's called the Bubble Planet Experience. This is completely different, but families can do both if they wanted to.
That's the beauty. We try to find experience that complete each other, right? So we had Bubble. We've been having such a great success for the last few months.
It's all over social media.
It is all over social media. I mean, if you don't see a Bubble on social media, you've been living under a bubble for sure.
I like that.
Combining it with Dino, just bring another perspective. And another, when you come to a venue, you have the option to do both, both experience. Each of them would last about an hour, 15, an hour and a half. So if you want to make a day after this trip and go for the lunch before or after, that's where you come because it's a one-stop shop.
Excellent. Okay, so with that in mind, why don't we wrap up and tell our listeners where the exhibit is? You already plugged, I think, earlier, Downsview Airport Lands. How long it'll be here for approximately, and where to get tickets?
The tickets is very easy. Fever.com. Make sure you choose the exhibition, either Bubble Planet or Dinos Alive, the exhibition. You can pick your experience. Make sure you pick Toronto for here so you get the right tickets, the right timing.
So fever.com, and then there's also dinosaliveexhibit.com/Toronto.
Kid starts at $24. It's similar to the price for Bubble. So for family, you won't break the bank. It's an activity, but it will keep you busy. But the best thing is, first of all, the kids might be a little tired when they get home. So that's a nice rest for the parents. But also they will talk about this. They will talk about the experience. We have even a live mascot, a real dinosaur, basically. It's called Blue, and it's been roaming around, and the pictures are amazing with that.
Well, speaking of Bubble Planet, there's also photo ops here for those who like to post to social media. We didn't even get to things like some rides. There's an interactive area where kids can color. When they color in the dinosaurs and they scan it, they can see it on a giant wall.
That cool?
That was really neat for me, I'll be honest. And then it also ends off with a virtual reality experience, almost like a roller coaster ride from 100 plus million years ago. So really there's a lot here that we didn't even scratch the surface on. But Eric, thank you so much for your time. Congrats on the launch of Dinos Alive, an immersive experience. Again, the website is dinosaliveexhibit.com/Toronto or fever.com and do a search for Dinos Alive Exhibit.
The holidays on the corner, so that makes the perfect gift as well. If you want to think ahead, that's the time.
Thanks so much, Eric.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Hey, if you're in need of a gift idea for a family member, a friend, maybe a coworker, I've got a great suggestion. It's under $100 and it delivers a lot of bang for the buck. It's the 2024 Roku Ultra. So you've probably heard of Roku. It's a family of streaming boxes, TVs. They have other smart home items as well. But I love the ability of turning any TV into a smarter one with the super popular platform Roku. So the 2024 Roku Ultra is a device that you connect to the side or back of your TV, join your Wi-Fi, and with this latest model, it's 30% faster than its predecessors, delivering a lightning fast interface and smooth app launches with cinematic visuals and immersive Dolby Atmos sound on top of the visuals. So you can select what apps you want to install for your favorite streaming services, including free ones like Roku Channel. The Roku Voice Remote Pro, which comes with this, brings you ultimate convenience featuring hands-free voice controls, backlit buttons, and a lost remote finder. Very handy, with months of battery life on a single charge. All you have to do is say, "Hey Roku," from across the room to control your TV. And with the Roku platform, there's endless entertainment and, again, seamless connectivity. Enjoy fast, easy access to your favorite TV shows, movies, and other content. Bluetooth headphone pairing for private listening if you prefer, and both Wi-Fi 6 and Ethernet options for uninterrupted streaming in any room. So for under $100, the 2024 Roku Ultra is a great stocking stuffer for anyone on your gift list. Roku.com has more. And before we wrap up, I just wanted to give a shout out one more time to Intel, the title sponsor on this program. Thank you so much for your support on Tech It Out. The other week, Intel launched the new Intel Core Ultra 200 series processor family that will scale AI PC capabilities to desktop platforms, not just laptops anymore, and usher in the first enthusiast desktop AI PCs. These new computers significantly cut power usage while retaining outstanding gaming performance performance. So the result is a cooler and quieter user experience elevated by new AI, gaming, and content creation capabilities enabled by the AI PC. By bringing the AI PC to enthusiasts for the first time, the Intel Core Ultra 200 series processors deliver up to 50% faster performance when it comes to AI-enabled creator applications, and that's against competing flagship processors. More info is at intel.com. Thank you so much for tuning in to Tech It Out, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the show, and I look forward to catching up with you next weekend for another new episode of Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.